Hey there guys, I wanted to create a quick screencast to walk you through the pizza boxes in the background presentation. This is the screen you'll see when you log into the meeting room, which I have sent with this video. You'll just click Start Meeting and it will open up the room to the lobby layout. And you should see a Mumford & Sons video here, and you can just click play once you're in the room, or when you have about 5 minutes before the start. Notice it's a 5-minute video. This is just a fun little thing to just sit here. It's just a song to play, just to allow them to enjoy the music. Feel free to go ahead and chat in the chat box, get everybody ready to go, start your webcam, start the audio, make sure everything's ready to roll. Then when you're ready for your presentation, make sure that you record the presentation. And your first layout here is the presentation layout. And I wanted to go to where the notes section was, so that you could see that there's some text here for you to just to kind of guide you through the presentation. I didn't do a script, but there is some there for you to read if you want to, walking through, talking about how office is your classroom, talking about how to set up your office for best possible teaching environment, concerns they might have, and then going to polls. I have two polls through here and then one at the very end to get their key takeaways. But you can go over to the polls layout and find poll number 1 up here at the top. I would actually click here and make it a little bit larger and say reopen. Name something you remember from your last virtual training session that you participated in. Have them go through it and then make sure that you pull it back up to this area. Same thing for the other two polls. This one, it actually says poll 2 in the presentation, and this one is at the end. Tell me one quick takeaway that you'll implement from this training class. Let's go back to the presentation layout so that you can see the notes. And you can click through the arrows and see that there is just some notes there, but it's basically just to kind of guide your conversation. You guys are good at what you do and you know what it is that needs to be talked about here, but taking a screenshot of their classroom, talking about how to go through a recording, taking away anything distracting. I pulled out the titles and just basically used pictures for this presentation, but making their classroom a topic for discussion. Using lighting, I think that it would be helpful if you see here, let's turn on webcams for the group and see what we can do. And why don't I go ahead then and create a layout that's a blank one, and we'll just call it webcams. Say OK. And just add the video. And that be the only thing. Maybe we'll add the chat pod in case anybody gets kicked out somehow. There we go. And so then when you turn on your webcam, I'll go ahead and turn on mine so you can see it. Let it allow camera access. Then they will be able to, we'll start sharing, and then it will either fill the webcam or you'll be able to then allow them to start and everybody be able to see their video and just kind of walk through what's distracting and what's not. So we'll stop my webcam and then go back to your presentation, but just that's a fun thing to, and I'll pull that up here so it kind of goes in order. There you go, of your layouts. Talking about lighting and how that would be beneficial to just kind of examine what's there and what might be distracting, just to, even to see the lighting in the room. Talking about background noises, and fans, how eating is distracting, but cup of water, or a cup of coffee, that type of thing is okay. Looking professional. And then we go to poll number 2. What types of issues have they come across in live sessions they didn't plan for? To just really get the conversation started before that whole life happens conversation. And then this list here are the different slides that are coming up. So let's walk through some of these types of scenarios. Looking at how to be prepared, walking through this list here. Hopefully you'll get some conversation going in the chat box around that. How to turn everything off, make sure we're not multitasking too much. Emergencies are going to come up, but as long as you prepare for them and don't freak out, the students will be okay too. These are just other examples of things that might happen, and if you have to step away, then step away, and that's okay. Just managing the situation. When we get to this group management slide, I have the conference call video set up over here. And there's just a chat box in the conference call in real life video that you can play. It's about 4 minutes in length. But it's a good video to just kind of walk through what group dynamic is turning into and how it's changed within the workplace. You can kind of lead that back to how we have to manage a group situation in a virtual classroom. And so the things that are going to be discussed in this section are going to be managing the chat box, disruptive students, making time for breaks, and not forgetting questions at the end. So I included just some setting some standards before the class starts in terms of chat conversation, and it's okay to be personal, but not letting that overtake the information. Talking about disruptive students and not letting one bad apple ruin the lecture. You can even walk them through how to remove a student. Remember, you can click on a box, come over here to attendees, which is the pod options, and say remove selected user. So you can walk them through how to do something like that. They can't see you do that, but you can see me because it's a screencast. So you can walk them through how to do that. Looking at how they can make time for breaks in a session, depending upon how long it is. Offering some suggestion there, always leaving time at the end for questions, but always making sure that they're able to manage the session so students can ask questions during the session. It's important to have that dialogue and conversation throughout, but then also to maintain a structure of the session. So if students' questions relate to something that you're going to address at the end, it's okay to walk them through saying, we're going to address that at the end, and letting them know that that's okay. And then talking through how to just deal with technology and that sometimes those things happen, and just what to be prepared for, logging out of the room, logging back in for minor things, total computer restart, reboot, and walking the students through those types of things too. Personal Support Center will always be there to help as well, but if you can do those couple things, ending the meeting, restarting the meeting, shutting down your browser, starting your computer, all of those things that can really help things go well. And this is just sort of for fun in terms of expecting the unexpected. Students don't know what the plan is, so don't let them know that things are screwing up. And just kind of walk through those, issues. And then that is the end. At the end of the presentation, you can bring them down here. I have 2 files if they want to download those files, and then we can I'll go ahead and add in the Mumford & Sons video too, if they want to take that with them. So that's all there for them to download. And then this is the Online Plus training guide for them to go to, and so that they're able to see where the Online Plus guide is here, training calendar, all of the other pieces of training associated with this session. Alrighty, let me know if you have any questions. I'm excited to see how they go.